How's it going, watchers? So today I'm going to be doing my review or discussion of the Hunter x Hunter arc. So I know I've got up to about 3 now. So there was the Killua's family arc, the Heaven's Tower or Arena arc, and then finally I just finished this current arc. But this one that I've recently just finished, I'm not going to cover that. That's going to be a completely separate video. The one that I actually want to do is Killua's family arc, because that was only 5 episodes. And then the one after that. Otherwise, it's just going to be a really long video, and yeah, I don't think you want to be sitting here just listening to me talk about all 3 of them. So I'll do that completely separately. So first of all, hopefully I can remember all these little things. Is that on Killua's family's arc, the thing that stood out the most for me would be when Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika did that training. So the thing with that, I was hoping that that would somehow be connected to future arcs or future episodes. It really didn't matter. I just wanted that to be beneficial, because usually with animes, if they do something like that, wearing weighted armor, training for whatever purpose that may be, once they defeat or overcome the obstacle that they needed to, the reason being for training, that's it. It no longer continues that on, which is what I was worried Hunter x Hunter would most likely do. Or like, for example, they had to get that door open. So what I was worried was that they'd do all that training, finally push the door open, but that's it. That sort of strength won't be seen again. Probably not until further on, but I was worried it would be seen at all until we go on to the Heaven's Arena arc, or Tower, whatever it's called. Until we go on to that arc, we actually see that Gon is capable of pushing people out of the arena with his bare hands, and that is just incredible. The fact that it did continue on certain things from the previous arc onto the next one, and most animes don't seem to do that. They usually just do things that's completely irrelevant and it's only relevant to that one moment, whereas Hunter x Hunter carries that on, which I think is superb in itself, and it's even somewhat connected it to the current arc I'm on now, but just little smidgets of it. It's mostly with Kurapika, mostly because it's mostly about him pretty much, not Gon or Leorio. Shamefully enough, Leorio wasn't in it that much, was he, in the current arc? But yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself and talk about that one. So as far as the Killua's family arc goes, meeting his family was insane. I mean, I was hoping we'd get to see his brother, because I mean we saw him on the arc before that one in the Hunter exam. And I was hoping we'd actually get a small glimpse of him in that one, considering it's about his family, but we didn't. Luckily enough, we did actually get a chance to see him in the current arc. Yet again, I'm not supposed to bring up the current arc that I'm on. So, trying to avoid talking about that, with Killua's family, they definitely sent off a completely separate vibe to what I imagined them being, especially his dad. Because from mostly what I heard from all of you watchers, was that his dad can be badass, quite strict, and somewhat terrifying, which is why I had an image in my head that he would not let Killua go willingly. The fact that he said to him, "Go be with your friends," even on my reaction, that shocked me, considering what I've heard and was told. I never expected that to be his sort of character. I thought he'd tell him to stay there, or Gon was going to have to try and prove himself to him. Again, with Gon being so reckless, getting beaten up by the gatekeeper, I mean, he could have at least attempted to defend himself, but he didn't. That moment there, for me, it sort of showed more of Gon's character. That I know that he's not one for, like, he believes in good, bad, evil, murder. He doesn't have a right or wrong necessarily, but the fact that he wouldn't put his arms up in a fight to get her out of the way to get to Killua, he was just pretty much making a point. Like, here's my friend, I'm not going to fight you. Let me through. And it actually got to her, which I never thought was going to happen. I didn't think she was going to break, considering she was hired for a reason. But yeah, eventually she did actually break. Gon got through, along with Kurapika and Leorio. Leorio hasn't necessarily had that much character development since the Hunter exam. The Hunter exam, he had a pretty decent amount of character development, considering he sort of started off somewhat selfish, saying that he wanted money, and then Kurapika opened up to Kurapika that there's more behind that, the fact that he needs that money for a good reason, and then he actually starts to care about Gon, which was incredible. But yeah, I've already done my review on that arc. I keep going back and forth to different arcs. So yeah, Killua's family's arc aside, we then move on to what is it? The Heavens arc. I know it's got the proper name, but I don't really know that at the moment. Sorry about that. But yeah, then it moves on to that one, and then it teaches us all about Nen. The great thing that when it was teaching us about Nen was that it was wording it so clearly, so it's just so easy to follow. Usually, when you get that much information about something so complex, it will just be throwing that sort of information at you, so you won't be able to soak it all in. You'd have to keep going back to rewatch it. So with that, I think it really laid it out really well, considering it was only teaching us the basics. Then it moves on to Kurapika, and then he learns more of the complex stuff, more about how he can manipulate the ability. Whereas Gon and Killua mostly just learn about the basics on how to awaken the Nen. That's what we're going to call it. I'm not too sure how you want to call that. I'm not too sure what Wing actually said. But again, one of the things that I thought I was sort of nitpicking at, I was just going to wait and see what was going to happen, is that he was making it seem that learning Nen was really complicated, as well as it'll take years, if not half a year if you're lucky. But he knew a way to open it a lot quicker than that, but it was dangerous. And for me, I thought that was it felt a bit rushed. But when it goes on to past that arc, again, I'm bringing up the current arc I'm on. When it goes past that arc and onto Kurapika, and it's showing us about him learning it, he actually knows more about it than Gon and Killua, which I thought was pretty good. The fact that Gon and Killua only knows the basics, and considering they rushed it, it makes kind of sense that they do. And then we go on to Kurapika, and he knows far more because he's been learning it for almost probably over half a year. I'm not too sure, but yeah, he was learning it a lot longer than those two, and he knows a lot more, which I thought was key. The fact that those two know less than him. For me, if they knew everything Kurapika knew at that stage, it would have felt really rushed, and they just did that for the purpose of that arc because of the tournament. And then Hisoka shows up, which was incredible. The best moment ever on the arc was him. And yeah, if the fact that Gon was going up against him. Oh, and another thing, the fact that Gon going up against those three random, I wouldn't really say random, but you know, the one with the pogo stick, the wheelchairs, and the one without his arm. Where to begin with that? I wanted Gon to lose, because if he just won every single match up until Hisoka, that was just obvious. The fact that he'd get to Hisoka would win, unless Hisoka would for some reason willingly let Gon win, which I'm not too sure why he would. But yeah, but kind of losing track again. The fact that he actually lost against the guy with the pogo stick the first time was just spot on, because it then showed us that Gon can overcome a loss and turn it into a victory next time round. That the fact he spent his time sort of training his Nen, and then he actually somewhat got a bit better analysing the whole situation that he was in, and used it to his advantage, or used his opponent's weakness to his advantage, which was incredible. Killua, granted, he's gonna win. I mean, he's a trained assassin. He's been doing this far longer than Gon. Gon hasn't really got that much experience. Again, that's one of the reasons I wanted him to. It sounds bad when I say I wanted him to lose. It was just because if he just went through it all flawlessly without even any practice, when these three guys have been going there for God knows how long, and they've been having so many battles with more experience than Gon, and Gon would win, it's like way, and I would have preferred him to lose, learn from his mistakes and improve, and that's what he did do, spot on. Then it goes on to Hisoka's battle and Gon. It really was incredible. I mean, I was literally at the edge of my seat on that episode. It was incredible. It's the way it was laid out. The animation in those moments was just beautiful. It was amazing, as well as Hisoka, him having his orgasmic moments, letting that slide. It was just really entertaining to watch, and it's just the hype and action packed with it when you just finally Gon lays a hit, and it actually brought the Hunter's exam. The fact that he was saying to Gon, come back and give that badge back to me, Did you say that? Well, I'm not too sure what you said, but along the lines of you can give that badge back to me when you can lay a hit like that. So when he punched, gone out cold, and then he can actually do that himself. He laid a hit on him, gave back the badge. Like, I don't owe you anything anymore. I wouldn't necessarily say beat you up, but I can lay a punch on you or push you off your position basically, and that. It's really great. I just love animes when they connect old situations and bring it to the new ones, just so it just flows perfectly. The rating for that, I'd have to give it blah 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 8 out of 10. The reason why I don't give it a 9 or a 10 is mostly because that it was called Killua's family, but it felt more that it was focused more on Gon and his friends trying to get Killua out of that house, and I didn't get to know more about Killua's. I knew more about some of them, mostly his brother, not so much his mum, other than the fact that she's really twisted, but I wanted to know more about his dad because his character is really mysterious, as well as his granddad. Who else did he have? He also had another brother who I thought was his sister at the time. Know nothing, zero, zilch about that character. I'm guessing I'll probably find out something more about that character in the future, most likely. But it's not necessarily that I'm nitpicking on that, it's just that considering the title of it and how it seems it was mostly focused more on Gon and his friends, not so much of Killua, that it feels like there was some things I could have added in there with other parts that didn't really seem all that necessary, and they could have fit in a hell of a lot more in those moments, informing us, well, giving us more information about Killua's family. But no, that's why I wouldn't give it a 10. Then for the rating that I'd give the Heaven's Tower arc, that is a difficult. I really want to give it a 9 because 10's basically perfect, and obviously everything's going to have its flaws. But I'd say I'll give it a 9 because it was really, really great. I can't necessarily think of anything that I can nitpick about. I'd not necessarily nitpick, but flaws that it did have. No, because for me, how it's describing everything was quite flawless. As for a few, it had mystery in this arc. That's what's so great about it. It left me wanting more. So I can't consider anything that is necessarily bad, because yeah, it was all laid out right there on the episodes. If you wondered about something, if it was really important, it would tell you. If it's something that can wait, it would just be mysterious and leave you wanting more further on, and it would most likely continue it on for us. But no, I can't say anything bad about this episode, well, not episode, sorry, the arc. I mean, many of you probably can, but for me, there isn't anything necessarily there because, yeah, like I said, pretty much flawless in many areas. But the highlights for me on that arc would be when Killua goes up, well, he didn't necessarily go up against him, he just surprised the guy that broke his promise towards Killua. That's pretty much telling us lesson 1. Don't mess with Killua and do not break promises, otherwise he'll come behind you with a knife and don't even want to know what he's going to do with that knife. But that moment, plus the whole learning Nen, because that was just laid out perfectly like I've already stated, and Gon going up against Hisoka. Pure gold. That arc was magnificent. But like always, watchers, thank you for watching. I cannot wait to do my review discussion of the current arc that I'm now finishing. But like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see each and every one of you next time.